Well, good evening everybody and welcome to the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well this evening. It's back for the first time on the channel in quite a while. We have some Gran Turismo Sport for you this evening. Great to have Gran Turismo Sport back on the channel, and particularly the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series for the culmination of their second season with their one-off O-Plate event. Also back on the channel, but also sort of new at the same time, we have Comms Box Camera. Hello, good evening everybody. Hope you're doing well. If this is your first time here, I'm Andrew. Great to have you on board for tonight. I can already see we've got quite a few people watching. Really keen for this one tonight. And I'm also very, very glad to be joined by the regular commentator for the Gran Turismo Sport Club 100 Series. It is, of course, David Whitehouse. David, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
There he is. There he is, everybody. David, this is kind of your bag. It's been a great season so far, hasn't it? How have you enjoyed the racing this season in the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series?
I think after season one, where we had such a close championship, and I didn't think it could get any cleaner and any more competitive, but it did this year with the introduction of people like Mark Riddelt and Steve Brown coming in. Unfortunately, Steve can't make tonight, so that's probably one less contender out the door. But in terms of a field, it was super close all year. Anybody could win a race, and as you saw last year from the karts on this very track that you can see on the screen, it was super close. And I seem to remember it going down to the final corner, even in the final.
So this O-Plate event, as you say, we did it a few months ago for the end of season one. It is very much a winner takes all. Kind of the championship was decided last week with Ryan Sandall taking the title, which we'll look at in a minute. But there's going to be some fierce racing out there tonight, isn't there?
It certainly will be. And the great thing is nobody apart from us two and Sam Dimolo, who organised this championship, actually know what track it's going to be. So it'll be down for us to let them all know, to be honest, because none of them will have practiced it.
Good stuff. We're not going to do that quite yet. As I say, this is the end of the second season. Let's have a bit of a review whilst we're waiting for the lobby to go live. I think around 9 PM UK time at the season. If I click this button here, hopefully we'll be able to see that. And yes, indeed, we will be able to see that. So Ryan Sandall, as we mentioned, won the title. Won it by 19 points in the end. But a very, very tight battle, as you say. Kind of summarise what that title fight was like between Ryan, Nathan and Steve Brown. I mean, both of those guys, we see them often in top split or second split in FIA events. So definitely some of the top drivers in the UK. Apologies, folks, if you can hear some of the lobby sounds in the background. We will be with that in a few moments' time. Steve, as we say, I don't think we really need to give Steve much introduction. Mr. SuperGT, the great work that he does. Unfortunately, can't be with us tonight. As I say, did very well to finish in third. But then you go a little bit further down the order, you've got a lot of talent in this lobby tonight. As we say, Martin Robinson, Trevor Randall, Tim Clark, all very, very quick drivers. And perhaps going into this as underdogs, but definitely with a chance of winning if those top two in Ryan and Nathan trip up over each other or anybody else out there. Mm. Absolutely. We are getting just about set for the start of proceedings. Practice going on in the moment. Let's have a look at the grids, because the format is going to be similar to what we see sometimes in the Sprint Series, with drivers essentially having 3 races, 1 from the front, 1 from the middle and 1 from the back in terms of their starting position. So here's a grid for heat number 1, which will have Nathan Maximin starting on pole position, Eric Mignon second, Mark Ridout and Sam Dimolo on row 2, Kirith Kelly Ryan, Jack Cameron Drayton row 3, Martin Robinson and Ryan Sandall on row 4, Tim Clark, Trevor Randall on row 5, Jay Elliott, Alex Wilmots row 6, Callum Brule and Peter Harris row 7. Nathan starting the night from his pole position. It's really key for him, isn't it, David, to get that good start, to get the points on the board?
Yeah, their first heats will be all important. I'm just looking in the chat and apparently people can't hear me, so I don't know if you want to sort of check that one out. But yeah, it's going to be first heat's all important, and hopefully we'll have some clean racing from the start, because these guys have all raced each other throughout the couple of seasons, and I can't see or think of many major incidents we've had, so it'll be good to see everybody involved. But Nathan needs a good start to keep in touch for his to keep his O-Plate championship. Okay, we'll look into those issues with the audios, guys. Apologies for that one. But the heat number 2 that we'll have a look at. Here it is. So Peter Harris on pole position, Alex Wilmot second, Trevor Randall and Ryan Sandall row 2, Jack Cameron Drayton and Sam Dimolo row 3, Eric Mignon and Callum Brule row 4, Jay Elliott and Tim Clark row 5, Martin Robinson and Gareth Calirai on row 6, Mark Ridout and Nathan Maximin row 7. I think we might have lost David for a moment. No, I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there?
So yes, I'm still here. Yeah.
So that's that grid for heat number 2.
It's actually quite interesting because Peter, we've seen from fuel races that we have the sort of endurance tyre wear races. He's very good in the first half of races and then seems to drop back later on. We don't have that tonight. We have 5 laps. Well, I think it's 5 lap heats, I'm not 100% sure. But Peter could very much keep himself up there. And Alex Wilmot, Trevor Randall and Martin Robinson are all on controllers, which with a twitchy go-kart will not be the easiest to control.
Yeah, definitely indeed. Heat 3, here it is. Apologies for moving the grid around on the screen, folks. So Callum Brule, having had the race from the start, well, starting at the back and starting in the middle, has pole position for heat number 3. Jay Elliott alongside him on the front row. Apologies, I've got my graphic wrong there because Jay Elliott's on the grid twice. My bad. Row 3's got Kirith Kelly Ryan, Mark Ridout on it, Nathan Maximum, Peter Harris, row 4, Alex Wilmot and Trevor Randall, row 5, Ryan Sandall and Jack Cameron Drayton, row 6, Sam Dimolo and Eric Mignon, row 7. It's interesting to see with Callum at the front for that one, David, because he has had his bright moments, doesn't always have the best of luck, but will maybe be able to take some experience from BUKC into this one, because I suspect there's going to be some BUKC Drivers' Championship like driving out there tonight.
Yeah, I think that definitely will help Callum out. Callum's had a great second year. First year he was really struggling to keep up in the tyre wear races, but he's improved that. I think he claimed a podium this year as well in one of the races. So he certainly, again, with Martin and people like that, he's that little dark horse who might just pull out a shock result if he gets a good few heats.
Well, I think we can now reveal the circuit. Here it is. It is Tsukuba, a classic circuit this, David. One that I remember all the way back to the Gran Turismo 4 days where I did a lot of laps around it. A favourite of yours?
It is. It's not the easiest to overtake when you're using cars. I think it's down as daily race A this week with, or it might not. I'm sure it was one of the daily races recently anyway. And I was actually commentating on this circuit last night for a huge team versus team meeting. And it did sort of get a bit line astern because the cars were very similar. Now with the go-karts, they don't need as much space to overtake. So in a car, this may be like Monaco. In a car, this could be as wide as Three Sisters, for example, which is a very wide track. So
yeah,
we will see 2 or 3 abreast down the back straight for sure.
That's what we want to see. There's Peter Harris. I do like how many of the drivers have replicated themselves, their own helmet combos that they use in real life. So Peter Harris with his Iron Man-like helmet there. Look out for him. Kirith Kart. A lot of support from him in the comments I can see already. Thank you for joining us, guys. Looking to have a good result here tonight. Been doing a lot of iRacing recently, has Kirith. Looking out for some of the other drivers. Not everybody else on circuit at the moment.
I think this is probably a good stage to actually say thanks to Martin Robinson, who's done the liveries for these karts and actually for most of the cars that the Club 100 have been using in the team versus teams events as well. So
definitely. He
does a great job. Just suddenly throws a livery out at us, and we're like, how have you done that? So they're looking splendid, shall we say?
Let's talk a little bit about this kart, the race kart 125 shifter. Some aspects are carryover from the real life racing that we all do with Club 100, but obviously that shifter mech, we don't have one of those in Club 100. How have you found the similarities in the ways that you race, say, a Club 100 kart in real life and one of these on the Gran Turismo Sport game?
Well, I can't claim to be quick in either, but the shifter car, it's a lot different because you're having to think about what gear you want for the corner. For example, in the Club 100 karts, you are thinking, right, I'm going to brake here, that's my braking point, and when I get on the throttle. Whereas this, you need to remember, it's more like driving a car with ease, remembering what gear you want, how quick to downshift, and from what I remember, you can easily lock them up and slide off the track. So it could even be a bit more like the old TKM engines that Club 100 used to drive when you braked a bit too late, locked it up and spun off, you were going off. So it'd be great to see. I'm currently just looking at Callum leading, who's Callum leading around there? It's Ryan Sandall at the moment, and both in full gear like they would be on a Club 100 circuit, so that's great to see.
It's not long to go then before the start of the first heat, where drivers will just be looking to get a good solid start. It's not do or die at this stage of the evening. Well, in fact, at any stage of the heats, really. It's all about getting a good grid position in the final, because that's where you really, really then go for it and try and get those points. We'll be having the fun races afterwards as well, which we've been not entrusted, tasked I think we'll say, with choosing the circuit of which we're going to use tonight. I'm not sure that's a wise choice, Mr. Dimolo, but we'll have a go. We'll have a think. Maybe if the chat's got any good suggestions of where they'd want to see a race this evening. We may take that into account, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the stream and you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. It really does help us out. Click that like button and share the stream as well. Let people know that we're racing tonight here on Gran Turismo Sport. Great to have it back. We'll hopefully be having it more on the channel in the coming weeks. The news that there's going to be another season of the FIA Gran Turismo World Championships on Gran Turismo Sport coming up in the next few weeks. So we did a little bit of that in the midst of the summer lockdown last year. Is that going to be something that you're going to be taking part in, David?
Possibly. It depends whether I get things set up to how I like, because as you know, I've invested in PC at the moment and will be investing a bit of time in the Club 100 iRacing Championship, which is also live on this channel. Well,
indeed, we've got our next round of that actually coming up on the 24th of February. It's going to be the Audi TCR car around Okayama, so look out for that. Evening to Oscar, who says hi all. Essa has requested the Nordschleife for the special races, the fun races later on.
Is he thinking we're doing it in the go-kart?
We're not doing it in the go-kart. I'll give the chat that we're not doing it in the go-kart this evening, but I like that suggestion. We'll take that into account.
I mean, that is probably part of the reason Steve isn't joining us tonight after his 200 laps of Nordschleife. If we picked that in a go-kart, I think he'd kill us.
I think he'd probably at least partially justified. I'm talking to Steve there in SuperGT, but there's a penalty. There's a penalty out there. It's a slowdown. I think it's for Callum, who's been doing a bit of grass cutting there and a little bit more grass cutting there. He is second place in the standings though at the moment. This is just practice ahead of the first heat. That's looking good for the former Warwick and Cranfield University BUKC racer. Nathan Maximin at the moment is fastest out there. There he is, with the orange details on the black suit. We've had a vote for Colorado Springs, possibly. Maybe we'll have a look at that.
I'm just hearing we're just waiting for Jay Elliott, or trying to hear from Jay Elliott on whether he's joining us. So we're apparently going to wait till 10 past just to see if he joins us.
Okay. Hope he does, because it'll mess up all the grits if he's not able to join us. Jay, a quick driver, of course, former race winner in the top echelon of Club 100 sprints. There he is, right on cue. He must have heard
there
us.
He is.
So he's just joined, so we'll be getting underway very shortly. Who else can we see out there? I had a look at Tim Clark, getting to see how he's getting on. Red and white helmet there, number 36. Very intrigued to see how Mark Ridout does tonight, David. A driver not only, as you say, with lots of experience in Club 100. I know you'll have raced him yourself in the old Clubman's Championship, but a dab hand, a former driver who got quite far in the old GT Academy days in the UK sector as well.
Yeah, he actually made the UK final. I think I seem to remember him saying he was racing against Jan Marburn at some point. Whether he won it the year he actually won it, I can't quite remember. But certainly a quick guy. He sort of stepped away from GT Sport for a little bit, and he's come back to it. So as we see him just taking a novel line through that corner, but yeah, Mark's very quick. He's just prone to the odd mistake, and that sort of has ruined his championship a little bit this season when he was doing the main championship. So here we go, a few rounds of Club 100.
Oh, apologies, I think we lost David for a moment there on the internet connection. Hopefully we'll be back with us soon. Here's Eric Mignon with the Belgian colours on the helmet. Races a lot in the Endurance Championship, in Club 100 in real life. David, are you back with us? I think couple of issues at the far end. We are on for a 21:10 start for the first heat.
Hello.
You're back with us. I don't know if that was at my end or yours, David, but you're back now. Nathan Maximin still fastest in this practice session then, ahead of the first heat. Callum Brule still second, there he is. Tim Clark in third. Ryan Sandall just maybe holding back a little bit there. Roosevelt in the fourth position at the moment in the number 26. Mark Ridout's fifth. Alex Wilmot's had a good practice as well. He's currently in sixth place. Let's try David again. David, can you hear me?
Am I here?
Yeah, you're here.
I think
you're
it might be my headphones. I think it might be my headset, to be honest. I think it's sort of heading way out, shall we say. So hopefully racing.
Yeah, we got the loud and clear, but about to go into this first race then. Let's just try and see if we can pull the heats info back up on the screen. So that is your grid. Nathan Maximum from Eric Mignon, Mark Ridout and Sam Dimolo on row 2. Kirith Kelly Ryan, Jack Cameron Drayton on row number 3. Martin Robertson and Ryan Sandall on row number 4. Tim Clark and Trevor Randall on row 5. Jay Elliott, Alex Wilmot row 6. Callum Brule and Peter Harris row 7. So in particular those two drivers towards the back of the field, in Callum Brule and Tim Clark, both in the top 3 of this practice session. It'll be interesting to see if they can make up some good ground in this first race.
You win, I need or anything like that. On.
Apologies folks, I think a couple of issues at David's end there. We'll stick with it here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel, uninterrupted coverage of this second season ender, the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series O-Plate here at Tsukuba in Japan in the shifter karts. It is now 10 minutes past 9, so we should be due to start the race lobby in any moment. Keep your comments coming in. So say good evening to Ezra, who's I know is here supporting some of the drivers. Hello to Shadow as well. Kirith in the comments as well. I'm sure he's quite busy at the moment, probably driving around. Let's have a look and see if we can find Kirith. He's in the grass. What are you doing there, mate? Get out of the grass. He's out of the grass now. But yeah, keep your comments coming in. Thank you for supporting the stream here this evening. And the final has been called, or the gridding of the final has been called, so it will be starting in a few moments' time. So here we go then for the first heat of the evening here at the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series O-Plate for season number 2. David Whitehouse, if you can hear me, over to you.
Can you hear me?
You can indeed.
Yeah. I'm away. It's a great, poor start by Eric Mignon on the inside of the front row, but Nathan Maximin has pulled away at the front. Mark Ridout into second place. Sam Dimolo has took third. They all seem to be getting around the first corner, just about, a bit of bumping at the back. It's Nathan Maximin leading the way with a nice little lead into turn 4.
Very good start indeed. Oh, there's a little bit of bumping and barging towards the back. Eric Mignon's involved in it all. I think Tim Clark's made some good progress already as well. There he is in P number 7. So we said about him trying to come through the field. Is also coming through the field, I think, is Callum Brule. Yes, it is. So already some of those drivers up towards the front of the field. But coming around to finish lap number 1, David, Nathan Maximin's got a bit of a gap here ahead of Mark Ridout.
Yeah, it's a nice lead of about 4/10 at the moment. I watched these two racing around here in Clio's last night, and they were very closely matched, so it will be all down to who gets down to the karts quicker between these two, because they're very closely matched around this circuit in particular.
Short races, of course, these heats. Only 5 laps, not long to make a move. Sam Dimolo up to 3rd place. There he is. He's got Martin Robinson just behind him.
We've got Ryan Sandall, who's moved up into 6th place at the moment, and I think he's the one who's made the most progress up the field for now. Kirth just ahead of him. There's a nice pack of 3, which means he might get himself into the top 3 by the end of this race.
Let's have a look at a replay of the very start of the race. It's a good start from Nathan Maximin. Oh, apologies, the replay function having a bit of a moment there. It's back with us. Change for the lead. Apologies for missing that. Mark Ridout to the front then, ahead of Nathan Maximin, and 4 wide as well, just behind them. That was very close indeed. Martin Robinson now ahead of Kirth Calirai. Sam Dimolo down to 5th.
And you were seeing exactly why I said it would be really close. You can see the pack there. That's 13th all in one shot coming down the back straight. And it's, as you say, Martin Robinson, who's just got the lead of this pack, but the front 2 have pulled away nicely. And Nathan just trying to work out Mark now. He's having a look into turn 1, and he is now going for the lead at turn 1 and has took it nicely under the braking.
As indeed. Let's see if we can try and get a sight of that move down the inside. Here it was, and it was a clean as you like textbook overtake from Nathan Maximin down the inside of Mark Ridout into the lead of the race.
Martin Robinson in 3rd is now pulling away, and actually I've just noticed Callum Brule up to 5th place. I'm sure Callum started at the back of this heat, and he's now into 5th behind Tim Clark and just ahead of Sam Dimolo, who's fallen back to 6th. But there's a queue of cars coming down the back straight, and it's anyone's guess who's going to finish 4th at the end of this one, with 2 laps left to run.
Yeah, we'll stick with this battle actually, because it is looking very, very... Oh, big off into the wall. I think that was Kirth Calirai. We'll try and get to him, because that looked like a hard impact for Kirth there. See what happened and what caused that incident. I think he just ran wide. He just ran very, very wide out of the final corner. And unfortunately, into the wall he goes. That is not what he wanted. Not what he wanted to start off this O-Plate event. Back with the leaders. Mark Ridout side by side with Nathan Maximin to go, and they really are going at it here, David, on the final lap.
Yeah, Nathan weaving down the straight, trying to stop any slipstream from Mark. I don't think there's a huge amount of slipstream we'll get off these go-karts, but we're going round onto the final. Oh, that is the final lap, sorry, and Nathan takes the win just from Mark Ridout. Martin Robinson in 3rd, Callum a brilliant 4th, and it's Tim Clark in 5th.
Very
Sam
good result
Dimolo
indeed there for Brule. Sorry, David.
That's okay. I've just noticed, actually, the shock of the race, Ryan Sandall fell back to 10th in the end. So a poor start for the 2-time GT Sport champion.
So there's your result. Nathan Maximin wins from Mark Ridout. Congratulations to Nathan in that one. We'll move swiftly on to race number 2. Now that was obviously the chance for Nathan to get good points on the board starting from the front of the field. But the second race, let's try and pull the grid up for that one. There it is. So Peter Harris ahead of Alex Wilmot, Trevor Randall and Ryan Sandall on row 2. Jack Cameron Drayton and Sam Dimolo on row 3. Eric Mignon and Callum Brewer on row 4. Jay Elliott and Tim Clark row 5. Martin Robinson and Keith Calamari row 6. Mark Ridout and Nathan Maximin on row 7. I've got to mention something here, David. My guy up to the right here of Sam's pit crew, he's been stood there all evening, just perched on that ledge. That can't be comfortable.
His positioning reminds me very much, I don't know if you've ever seen the Jimmy Broadbent video of Australian Grand Prix on F1 2020 when Jesus decides to walk across the water. His positioning looks quite similar to that, but there's a guy in the white cap as well just staring at Sam. I think it could possibly be Nicky looking at Sam thinking, well, you've got to go quicker than that.
Have indeed. Let's see who we've got out there on circuit then. Another short practice session before the second race. Let's have a look at the comments. There's a whoops from Kirith after the issue that he had in race number 1, but plenty of time to race back. And at least the comfort of everybody qualifies for the final, David. That's sometimes the thing in these heat races, that the pressure gets on if there's the threat of non-qualification, but even if you have a really bad one tonight, I think there's still going to be chances to race through in that final.
Yeah, and I think that's after his first full season in Club 100 last year, where I think the B final became the Brewell final. Callum is very happy that it's just one final tonight. He started making it at the end of last season, but I did have a bit of a joke with him about it being the Brewell final throughout the year.
Absolutely. Dunlop Bridge looking resplendent here at Tsukuba this evening. Nathan Maximum has just disconnected. I hope he can get back in the lobby soon.
That's one way to lose your plate.
It is indeed. There's Tim Clark, raced really well in that first race. Nathan's back with us. Thank you for tuning in here onto the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel this evening. I hope you're doing well. Andrew Mather and David Whitehouse on commentary duties for you again. Ezra asks, how does this sprint format work? This race is for grid position. It's very similar to the Club 100 Sprints Championship in the earlier parts of a sprint day, David, that all of these races are random grids, but everybody has the same average grid position across the course of the 3 heats, don't they? So you essentially start one from the front-ish, one from the middle, and one from the back.
Yeah, it's always been sort of the fairest way you can form a grid without having a qualifying where you end up. I think, knowing me being in heavyweights, it would be Joe Holmes constantly on pole, but this is the fairest way that everybody gets to sort of race from a certain part of the grid. It really does hone your race skills, and then when you get to the final, you have scored so many points to get your grid position for the final.
It's very much a test of those drivers and their skills. It looks like we are ready for race number 2. Race number 2 then, the second heat of the evening here for the second season of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series, then their O plate. Over to David Whitehouse to call the start.
So we've got a front row of Peter Harris and Alex Wilmot on the front row, Trevor Randall and Ryan Sandall on the second one. The numbers are up on the screen and it's away we go. Good start throughout the field. I think a slow start again from Mignon, but Trevor Randall has made a great start from third on the grid and leads into turn 1. Alex Wilmot just sneaking through on the inside of Peter Harris there, and Ryan Sandall also up into second place. A great move on the two drivers running wide out of turn 1, and he's now going for the lead around the outside of Trevor Randall, and he's done it. What a great move there by Ryan Sandall as Jack Cameron Drayton runs out wide onto the grass, but it's Sandall who leads as they head towards the back straight.
Someone off in a big way towards the back of the field. I think it was Jack Cameron Drayton, so he's got work to do there, but side by side off of the hairpin it is Trevor Randall and Ryan Sandall. Sandall back ahead of the former top tier sprints champion, but Trevor Randall back down the inside at the end of lap 1, and Peter Harris is getting involved as well. Great racing here at Tsukuba. Trevor Randall leads at the end of lap 1.
And there goes Sam Dimolo straight from 4th place into the lead into turn 1. He's outbraked himself. Will he hold on? Not quite. Trevor Randall gets it back, and Nathan Maximin is up into the lead now. And side by side with Trevor, it's action all the way in this sprint race. And Alex Wilmot in 4th. Peter Harris just trying to hold on around the outside there.
A couple of drivers have been sent to the realm. One of them is Callum Brewell, so his race is ruined in this one. Sam Dimolo's had a problem as well. He's now down into 12th position. So it's getting pretty cutthroat out there here in the second heat of the evening. We're not even halfway through this one, David.
No, I've just seen the pole position man, Peter Harris, lose about 3 positions in the hairpin and dropping down outside of the top 8. He's now sitting in 9th place, just ahead of Kirif and Martin Robinson. So a bad lap there for Peter Harris, and who knows what happened to Sam Dimolo, because he took the lead at turn 1 of that lap.
Trevor Randall looking for that wider line on the outside. Oh, somebody else is now off and in the dirt. I think it's Martin Robinson. Yes, it is. I'll have to try and catch up with what happened there. Right, yes, we've got a replay. Yeah, you just see Martin Robinson coming back on the circuit there, so it was obviously something through turn number 1 that meant things didn't go well for him on that one. Back at the front, looks like Nathan Maximin starting to get a bit of a gap, David, to Treviso. Oh, Peter Harris off hard into the wall, and Jay Elliott's in trouble as well, so they're all starting to drop like flies in this second heat of the evening.
Yeah, that was a hard hit for Peter, and that would have certainly bent the car if we had damage turn on, but Trevor Randall goes back to the front of the lead at turn 1. It seems to be the favourite overtaking move, but he leaves Nathan room on the outside, and Nathan just drives back around the outside of Trevor Randall, and you don't say that often. But at the front we've got Maximin, Randall, who's now being passed around the outside by Sandell again. Trevor getting mugged on this lap, but in 4th place we've got Tim Clark and Mark Ridout trying to join this battle, and we may have a 5-car train on the last lap for the lead.
Well, we're definitely going to stay with this. There is Trevor Randall, the mostly yellow helmet. Tim Clark not too far behind him, and Mark Ridout working well together at the moment to try and close in this top trio of drivers. Maximum to the inside. But a cross start finish, David, this is it. Heat number 2 is going to go down to the final lap.
Yeah, onto the final lap, and Sandell has gone to the outside of turn 1, doesn't quite make it through. Maximin not going to give up that easily. But I think last year we never had a double heat winner, but Maximin might just make it here. He's got 4 cars to hold off as Mark has moved ahead of Tim into 4th place. But as they head towards the hairpin, Maximin just stretching his legs slightly, so it's whether they can pick up the slipstream going into the final corner.
Oh, look at this, side by side. Sandell trying to go round the outside through the hairpin there, use a bit of the banking, not able to do so. Side by side as well are Mark Ridout in the white there and Trevor Randall, and I think Ridout has got through, but it's going to come to the final corner. It's going to be a sprint to the line. Sandell's trying to go round the outside of Maximum there. I think Maximum's going to hold on. Is he? It's very close on the line. Yes! My goodness, look at that. The top 3 covered by less than a tenth of a second, but it's Nathan Maximum from Ryan Sandall, Mark Ridout. What a race, David.
Wow, I thought they were going to end up 5 abreast across that start-finish line. I think you're saying the top 3 is less than a tenth of a second. I'm not even sure the top 5 were. No, the top 5 were covered by less than 2 tenths into that. So, what a race, and that just shows you also the respect each of these drivers have got while they're racing each other, because they race each other all year, and maybe they just want to tone it down at the back a little bit because they were flying off left, right and centre in that one.
Yeah, a few drivers caught out there in that one. The Perched Man is back as we start the practice for, ahead of heat number 3. Let's remind ourselves of the grid for this one, and you'll have to correct me, David, because this is the one where I've messed up the grid graphic. Because Jay Elliott is either 2nd or 3rd, but he can't be in both. Remind me who we've got at the front of the grid for this one.
We have Callum Brule on pole position from Jay Elliott, and it's Tim Clark who's missing, I believe, from your graphic, in 3rd place.
Apologies,
4th
Tim.
is Martin Robinson. Kirv Calirai and Mark Ridout round out row 3. Row 4 is Nathan Maximin and Peter Harris. Alex Wilmot and Trevor Randall round out the top 10, with Ryan Sandall, Jack Cameron Drayton, Sam Dimolo and Eric Mignon in 14th.
There is your field then. Interesting bit for me, David, from those first 2 races with the performance of Maximin so far, 2 wins from 2. That not only has he got those 2 wins from 2, but he's done one of those from the back of the grid, which you perhaps wouldn't have expected at this stage of proceedings. So the pressure obviously still on a fair amount, because he's going to want to do well in this next race to get himself up the order for the gridded final based on the results of these heats, but he doesn't absolutely need to win this race.
It's quite similar to last night's team versus team. I was speaking to Nathan before the race. It was about getting in the top 7 to qualify for the A side of the championship, and I said to him, you don't need to win this race, and he goes, but I want to. And that's a typical racing driver thing, and it's something that some drivers are like, I've got to win this race. Then other ones who possibly have fought for championships a little bit more calculated, and go, 2nd is enough, I don't need anything more. But Nathan has to be the favourite for pole position in the final, with 2 wins out of 2 so far.
Absolutely. Sam Dimolo has pressed the button. The final will be beginning, the 3rd race, the 3rd heat I should say, will be starting shortly. Thank you to Oscar Hunter, who's subscribed to the channel. Thank you for your support, mate. It's time for the final heat of the evening. David, over to you.
And we're lined up on the grid for this final heat. We're just waiting for the lights to change. It's Callum Brule on pole, Jay Elliott on 2nd, and their way. Again, everybody off the line well, even Eric at the back got a good start that time round, but it's Brule who leads into turn 1. Jay Elliott 2nd, Tim Clark 3rd. As Elliott tries to force Brule wide, will he get the position? And Tim Clark nips up the inside, so it's Brule and Elliott, Clark and Robinson fighting at the front as they go down into turn 4, with Kirk Calirai taking a little nibble up the inside, but Maximin is up to 3rd already from 7th on the grid.
Very good start indeed. Oh, Brule is on the grass and he's going to come back on there, and someone got caught out. I think it was Tim Clark, who's somehow managed to pull it back on circuit. Great driving there from Tim Clark, but Nathan Maximin once again up at the front of the order at the moment, up there into 2nd place.
I honestly don't know how he's doing this. I mean, he's a very quick driver, don't get me wrong, but the kart races were so sort of random in the form last year. It's Callum Brule's off and Peter Harris at the exit of the final turn, but it's still Jay Elliott who leads this race as Maximin takes the lead in turn 1.
Let's try and capture how that happens. Callum Brule just ran wide. Oh, and he hit the curb and went into the wall hard, and Peter Harris had his own incident there. Almost in sympathy of Callum Brule going off, but that has ruined any chance Callum Brule had of getting a good result in this race. Back at the front.
Now got Mark Ridout up into 3rd place. He's just past Martin Robinson. Kirk Calirai is still sitting in 5th with Tim Clark in 6th, and Jack Cameron Drayton is having a good run in 7th, but Mark Ridout now having a look at 2nd.
He is indeed. It's up the inside and he's got it, so a good bit of driving there from Mark Ridout, but Jay Elliott trying to fight back here. Ridout takes his line off the final corner. So it is indeed Nathan Maximin looking to make it 3 out of 3 in the heats so far this evening, ahead of Mark Ridout there in second place. Martin Robinson is up to third. So what has happened to... let's try and have a look there. What happened to Jay Elliott? You see him there being overtaken by Martin Robinson. Oh, he then got very out of shape coming out of turn 1 there, David. And that allowed Kirith Kalirai through.
Yeah, and we've now got a battle on at the front because Nathan Maximin made a huge error out of turn 4, and Mark Ridout now on his tail slipstreaming him down to a final corner. I don't think he'll make the move this time by. He's got 2 laps to size up Maximin and stop him collecting 4 points from this race. And at the moment, the performances from Maximin are very much like sort of Joe Holmes. You don't realise he had a bad grid position in any of the races because he's hit the front so early on in each race.
Ridout had a lane on the inside there into turn 1, but wasn't able to wrap up the overtake on the exit of the corner. So it's still Maximin from Ridout, with Kalirai still there in now actually up to third place. He's got past Martin Robinson, so great driving there from Kirith Kalirai. Martin Robinson trying to fight back. It does look at this stage of the race, David, that if third and fourth can work together, they've got half a chance of catching first and second here, especially as they're going to keep fighting.
Yes, I completely agree, but Robinson now looking to be inside of Kalirai into the final corner, and he's spun off. Robinson is off into a wall, so that's the end of his heat. He'll be near the back of the A final grid, I believe. But the shocker for me is actually I think it's 11th place at the moment, is Ryan Sandall.
Yeah, there he is.
Not getting to grips with his karts this year for whatever reason, and the double champion is going to be near the back of the A final grid for sure.
He is indeed, because he didn't do so well in the first race either. Can Nathan Maximin close out this hat-trick of heats victories? Mark Ridout is there, nobody else to challenge these two. Looks like Jay Elliott has fought his way back up to third place, which is a really good drive from Jay. And you can see Nathan again using that tactic, trying to break the slipstream. This is going to be so close to the line.
It is, but Maximin looks to have got it, and it's going to be 3 out of 3 for the reigning O-Plate champion as he comes across the line, and Maximin wins it from Ridout. Jay Elliott just gets third from Tim Clark and Trevor Randall. Eric Mignon with the best result of the night was 6th, and Kirith Kalirai fell to 7th on the last lap.
Yeah, real shame for Kirith there that he's lost those positions, but still top half finish. Should be good points and a decent grid position for him. I suspect he may have got back into the top 10 once we get to the final grid. There's the result. Maybe shortly on screen before it disappears again. But another victory there for Nathan Maximin. So far, you could say a dominant display from Nathan Maximin, but that last race showed again. He's having to work for these this evening. Won the last 2 races by less than 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, he certainly had to work for it there. Mark Ridout with the fastest lap of the race in that race. Sadly, he does get an extra point for that, but so Mark will be near the front of the A final grid. And the A final is a bit where the prizes are won. The points don't mean a lot in this O-Plate. In the normal Club 100 Championship, obviously they'd mean a huge amount towards the championship, but in this, it's all about that A final and the O-Plate.
Well, I hope you're enjoying the stream so far this evening. Thank you for tuning in here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much as well to Matthew Collier, who's subscribed this evening to the channel. Thank you for your support, Matthew. You can find us on Facebook as well at Double Dash Motorsport Media for all the latest news and goings on. Still in lockdown, of course, so we've not done a live full metal commentary for the year so far, but we have got plans for them to return very soon. once we get back up and underway. So Club 100 streaming across the course of the season, BUKC and Wilton Mill Kart Club as well, and other things as well in the pipeline that we can't quite tell you about at this precise moment. You can tweet us as well at @MM. Follow us on there as well. We're on the web, also www.MM.com. Sorry, David.
Sorry, I've just noticed a message in the chat from Essa Rafiq that we need a balance of power update for Nathan.
Yes, someone strapped 20 kilograms to that boy. He's been doing very nicely tonight indeed.
Le Mans normally like to change it just after qualifying, don't they? So
that's, yeah, that is a good point.
Maybe we could. Maybe we should be strapping lead to the top 7, maybe, to equal it out.
So what you're saying is, if I put a call into the Automobile Club de Dimelo at this very, very precise moment, we can get some lead ballast on.
Yeah, maybe just don't tell anybody. Is there any way we can just chuck it on the car without them knowing?
We wouldn't do that.
We are just waiting for the grid at the moment. Sam has said he'll send it through to me as soon as he gets. He's having to count all his fingers and toes at the moment.
I'm not going to make a comment. I'm going to hold that one there.
You just want to make sure you get the staff car when you come back.
Yes, absolutely. They treat us very well. For what it's worth, Mark Ridout is currently the fastest driver in this practice session ahead of the final. He's been on very good form tonight, hasn't he, David?
Yeah, Ridout's been on absolute. I think I've seen him make one mistake in one of the heats, but that's about it. And it's been a consistent drive by Ridout, but same by Maximin, and they've been driving around this track for pretty much the last 2 days, practicing for yesterday's result, not knowing that we were going to be using it tonight. So that obviously has come into good practice for them, because I believe they'll probably be the front row sitters come the grid.
There's Alex Wilmot, who's quietly got along with his craft tonight, but saying he's got no idea what he's doing in the final turn. I'm sure that's not the case, Alex. But it's a weird one, isn't it, this Tsukuba circuit? Because on paper you look at it, kind of like a lot of smaller circuits. You look at it from the air and you go, that looks quite simple. It's just a couple of straights, a couple of hairpins, and a wiggly bit. But it's very, very tricky, especially with it being an old school circuit in terms of not much room for error. Very tricky circuit to get into a rhythm around, I find.
Yeah, I completely agree. And up until about turn 4, I find it very reminiscent of Zandvoort in Holland.
Yeah.
As an F1 circuit, you've got the hairpin first corner, a couple of sweeps into another hairpin, and then the final bit is actually quite quick. There's only really 3 corners in the final section of the lap, but the run out of that hairpin is all important, and if you go deep into there, you're going to lose 2 or 3 positions in this final.
You are indeed. Keep your comments coming in. Good evening to Al. Great to have you back, mate, on the channel. Also agrees that Nathan needs some ballast adding. You never know. In one of these finals, we've seen it many, many times in Club 100 Sprints events and BUKC Drivers' Championship events, that someone can be on form, really good results through the heats, but it not quite happened for them in that final. And the final is where it all counts. There's Eric Mignon going for a bit of lawn mowing. So just waiting.
Eric's done a very good job tonight, actually. He's had a couple of rough starts, shall we say, but built back from them, and I think he'll probably be about mid-grid on this final grid, which has just come through, actually.
Good stuff. Are you privy to reading it out to us?
Yes, I can do. It's pole position for Nathan, as we expected, and Mark Ridout will join him on the front row. Row 2 will be Tim Clark and Trevor Randall. Row 3 will be Martin Robinson and Ryan Sandall, so Ryan a lot higher than we probably expected. Sam Dimlow in 4th, with 7th, and Callum joining him in 8th on the 4th row. Alex Wilmot in 9th and Kiev Kalirai in 10th. Eric Mignon 11th, joined by Jay Elliott in 12th. And the final row is Peter Harris and Jack Cameron Drayton, who actually finished equal on points for that last bit of the grid.
I need to put my fader up. There we go. Well, there we go. That's a very intriguing grid for the course of this final. Thank you to Stephen Brule, who's subscribed to the channel, supporting Callum this evening. I think he's got a chance in this final of the top 3 if things go his way.
I have to say thank you to Stephen for joining us as well, because at the start of the season when we had a few issues, he actually sat there through a whole hour of me talking when we never actually got round to racing due to some lobby issues. So he's certainly dedicated to watching Callum on this stream.
Commitment to the cause, that's what we like to hear. Fingers crossed.
Unless he was just late at night and he wanted to go to sleep, so he's listening to me.
I'm sure not. Longer race in the final. There you go. You can see it's 10 laps, so double the length that we saw in the heats. Start time is less than 60 seconds away, according to my watch. Due to start at 21:45 UK time.
And look at the two names that are the fastest in practice, Nathan and Mark. I think it's, if I've got to put my money on somebody, I'd go for Nathan at the moment, but it's certainly going to be a strong battle between those two.
It is indeed. It's not a long time away. Trevor Randall as well. We've not talked about Trevor too much tonight. Obviously, we mentioned how he's on a pad, and we talked about how that may be a bit of a disadvantage tonight because this kart is very, very twitchy. Not that twitchy. I think that's just a bit of lag for Peter Harris. But he's done again a very good job tonight, hasn't he, Trevor Randall?
Yeah, consistency from Trevor as always, and starting 4th on the grid. He will always be one to watch at the start of this race.
Well, here we go then for the final for the Season 2 O-Plate for the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series. Here is your grid. Nathan Maximin ahead of Mark Ridout, Tim Clark and Trevor Randall row 2. Martin Robertson and Ryan Sandall on row 3. Over to David Whitehouse to call the start.
As Andrew says, it's Nathan and Mark on front row as the lights go out and we're away. Mark slides Schumacher style across the track to block off Tim Clark, and Trevor gets a poorish start and has Martin Robinson to deal with, but it's Nathan Maximin pulling away at the front already, and the field bear not let him get away with the form he's in today. Mark Ridout and Tim Clark side by side into turn 4, but Ridout just about holds on, running wide. 4th is Trevor Randall, and up to 5th is Martin Robinson with Sandell in 6th.
Slightly calmer on this start then, but already Maximin starting to stretch his legs. Crucial couple of corners this for Mark Ridout to see if he can pull in that gap, but it's already at 7/10, and the rest of them follow behind. Trevor Randall has got ahead of Tim Clark for 3rd place, Martin Robinson 5th. Ryan Sandall up to 6th place.
Sandell has just gone up the inside of Robinson in the final corner to take 5th, and is this where Sandell's going to have his form? He hasn't really been near the front apart from Heat 1 tonight. Oh, I think there's the commentator's curse as he slides it in turn 1 and drops all the way outside of the top 10.
Back at the front, it is closing up. Mark Ridout has closed the gap to less than 4/10 ahead of Nathan Maximin. But he's leaving behind the rest of the field, so similar to what we saw earlier in heat number 3. Already at lap number 2, David, this could be a battle between Maximin and Ridout for the title.
it's looking that way at the moment. They're sitting 1.1 seconds ahead of Trevor Randall, but you never rule out Trevor Randall. He will always have a bit of pace in his pocket to try and find, but will he have the pace to keep up with these two? I'm not too sure. Ridout currently looking like he's working with Maximin. He's not sort of making the move as Martin Robinson goes up the inside. Tim Clark for 4th place. That was a nice clean move. And it's Sam Dimolo running wide at the back as well in turn 1.
Yeah, it's not been Ryan Sandall's night, unfortunately. We'll be back, of course, though, to try and defend his regular season title when we go into season 3. There's Jack Cameron Drayton out to 8th place. He's just got ahead of Jay Elliott there, BUKC graduate, famous for some crazy overtakes. For those who remember far back in BUKC folklore. That's what I'm going to say on that one. Go and look it up.
Tim Clark just looking at the outside of Martin Robinson, and he's going to lose out to Callum Brewell, who's now moving his way through the field. He's up into 6th place ahead of Keir Calirai, and he's just got Tim Clark in the first corner, so that's up to 5th for Brewell, and now looking to make his way past Robinson and hopefully tag on to the back of Trevor Randall.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at Trevor Randall. He's actually, yes, he's closed that gap in, hasn't he,
Yes.
David? He's really closed that gap in,
Yes.
so it's now 3 at the front for the lead.
I was just thinking that Callum might be able to tag on the back of Trevor, and didn't realise Trevor had made progress down the road, so it is now 3 for the lead, as you say, and Ridout probably needs to get a move on. Somebody has just gone off at the back. I think it was Mr. Sam Dimolo and Peter Harriskin jumbled together, but this is certainly anybody's game. There's the top 3 and then everybody else.
Yeah, I think Peter Harris suffering from a bit of lag there. Hopefully he can get that sorted. I know the feeling. I caused utter chaos the last time I drove around the circuit on Tom Brooks's New Year's Eve stream, and I had very, very bad Sheffield internet. That's all I'm going to say on that one. I apologise to Tom again for the chaos that I caused. But back at the front, Nathan Maximin still leading this race ahead of Mark Ridout. He's not made the move yet, and they are working together at the moment, David, trying to break that gap and drop Trevor Randall, go back to being just a duo fighting for this win.
Yeah, they seem to have dropped Trevor slightly. I did notice Alex Wilmot took a big hit on the final corner last time out, so he's dropped to the back of the field. But Mark Ridout really trying to push the issue now. We're at the halfway point of this race, just over it now. And Trevor just a little bit in a watch and brief at the moment. Maybe he just felt he was getting too close in the battle and didn't want to be too close if these two collide, which you never know, could all happen and just open the door for Randall. But further back, Callum Brewell is really having to fight off the attentions of Tim Clark as Martin Robinson has disappeared somewhere. I'm not sure where he's dropped to. He's dropped down to last place, so he must have had an off somewhere.
Yeah, I'll try and see if we can find where that was. A little bit of a look back in the replay, but he was already down in that last spot at the time of the infield of the course. Into the second half of the race then, Nathan Maximin still leading ahead of Mark Ridout there in second place, but Mark Ridout getting a little bit racy now, wanted to get on with things. Still working together, of course, trying to drop Trevor Randall there in third place in the yellow helmet. It's starting to hot up here in the final for the Season 2 plate.
And it's hotting up close behind as well, because Tim Clark is now battling with Callum Brewell into turn 4 and has gone round the outside of him. He won't quite make it stick, but Eric Mignon and Ryan Sandall are back in this battle with Jay Elliott. So that's a battle of 7 karts for 4th place. And to be honest, if these guys work together, they might have actually had a chance of catching these top 3, but with a 7 kart train. But they're just fighting so hard, they're just losing too much time to have any chance of looking at that podium.
They are indeed, they're just racing for a bit of pride now, aren't they? And you never know what could happen at the front of the field. I've seen it happen before. I remember a Super 1 race last year Mini Rock, the top three took each other out, and it was the driver in fourth place who took the win after a strong defensive drive. And Tim Clark is now back up to fourth place. Eric Mignon in there again, showing great form this evening. Big send down the inside from Callum Brule there, and I think that's good for fifth place. Sandell's off in the grass and has been forced out wide. No respect for the champion this evening here at Tsukuba. I think Jack Cameron Drayton was on the grass there as well.
It's just absolute chaos behind, just trying to work out who is in what position. Jay Elliott has took advantage of that, as always, moving up into sixth place. Callum in fifth. The battle at the front is still raging on, and Trevor has caught back up, and it's again free for the leaders. Ridout goes up the inside into turn one and takes the lead. He slides out of the corner, holds Maximin up a bit, and Maximin gets a run into turn four and retakes the lead.
Yeah, apologies, a little bit slow on the cameras there on my side, but here we are back with the leaders. Maximum, as I say, David, back in front of this trio, but not long to go now. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. Ridout looking to the inside again into the final hairpin, and along this long back straight, where the temptation is to carry a little bit too much speed into the final corner. The danger being you run wide. Maximum starting to defend, going on to the final lap side by side. Trevor Randall having a look as well at the inside there, still on a bit of a watching brief perhaps, just waiting for the big move. Ridout goes to the inside, on the deep into turn one. Ridout down the inside, looks like he's taking the lead, David.
He's still side by side with Maximin, and the three wide heading through turn two and three into turn four. Randall slightly on the grass, decides to back out, but he's still alongside Ridout, and this is letting Maximin just get away. And is this the break he needs to take his O-plate back home for the second year running? I think it looks like it might well be, but it's Ridout all over the back of Maximin. He still might get the slipstream into the final corner, but I think that gap's too big. I think Maximin may just have this now.
Final straight then for Nathan Maximum. Can he make it 2 out of 2 for O-plate victories in the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series here in the O-plate? It's going to be very close on the line. Here comes Mark Ridout. Who's going to take it? It is going to be Nathan Maximum by 0.087 of a second. He retains his O-plate. It'll stay on his karts for season 3, but what a race there with Mark Ridout in second place, Trevor Randall in third place. They pushed him all the way. Fourth place goes to Tim Clark, fifth to Eric Mignon, sixth to Callum Brule. Great drive there after some difficult heats. Ryan Ruswald there. Ryan Sandall finishes in seventh place. Peter Harris in eighth. Ninth for Jack Cameron Drayton, and 10th for Kirith Kalirai. What a race!
Wow, that was spectacular. I thought Mark might just nip it on the line there, but getting the tighter line out the final corner, you've just got no chance of holding the speed through there. But just controlled by Maximin all the way, just dominant style, and it'd be hard push to bet against him having a third O-plate next season.
Absolutely, definitely in tune with the karts. Doubtinator sums it up pretty much perfectly. Wow, this is superb. That was superb. A great finish to that final, and that's not it. I was about to say that's it for the racing, but of course it's not, because we've got our fun races when we need to make a choice, don't we, mate? We need to sort out which circuit we're going to be racing on.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't know the Gran Turismo Sport tracks as well as probably yourself, so just to let you know, an update on Perchman. He's still there. He's still balancing quite well. Credit to him. I'd probably have fallen off by myself by now. But yeah, we need to decide on a track for these guys.
We're going to take a short break. We'll put it on the countdown video for a couple of minutes, and keep it locked here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. Some fun races, non-championship races coming up after this. Welcome back, everybody, to DDMM HQ. Thank you very much for the support. We are going to go into some more racing. This is just going to be for fun now. All the serious stuff is done, so chaos is going to ensue. Thank you very much for your comments. Hello to Paul Stanford, who's said excellent stuff regards that final. That was absolutely fantastic. Hello to Trevor as well, Treviso himself. Good race, guys. Very close battle. And yeah, absolutely stay with us for the fun race. Which we have made a choice. We're not going to say what it is yet. And I think, if David is still with me, we will go across back into the lobby in a few moments' time. In fact, let's have a little chat, David, about that set of races that we had, those 4 races, the 3 heats and the final. I mean, Nathan Maximin, absolutely brilliant, clean sweep there. What else picked your fancy across the course of those 4 races?
I think I've got to say, and sort of not to put it on a downer, but the former Ryan Sandall wasn't as dominant as I expected. I thought he'd be up there for all 3 races. He's been very good at getting through the field all year, but just didn't seem to hook it up tonight, and he'll be certainly wanting to fight back at season 3 when we do the main championship again, to sort of reassert his dominance, shall we say, and push it towards showing that he is the man to beat.
But I guess that's often the thing, isn't it, that we've seen over the years, not just in this event, in very recent times, but over the years in BUKC, drivers' championships in particular, super finals especially, and the Club 100 super finals. When it's a one-off, you can sometimes have that a driver who comes into it in impeccable form, gets on the back foot, everybody knows they're a bit of a target anyway, and don't have the results that perhaps we were expecting.
Yeah, that's true, especially in the Drivers' Championship. So for BUKC, we all know what chaos that can cause at times in terms of in a good way, of course, but you always seem to get random results. I think back to that super final we had when somebody dressed up as Nicky and ran away with it at Clay Pigeon, but still got caught by Steve Hicks and James de Havilland at the end of it. So that sort of a madness the super finals normally bring up, and I think this race may become our super final as such.
We are ready. Let's head back into the lobby then. We can see that the track selection is Saint-Croix, which is a bit of a Marmite circuit, I think. Some people love it, some people hate it. Now, I'm very much in the love camp. I quite like this circuit. It's something a little bit different. And I think I'm right in saying we haven't seen this on the Gran Turismo, the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series calendar so far, although it may have been in a team versus team.
Yeah, we definitely used it in a team versus team against a French team a few weeks ago, which was again dominated by Nathan Maximin, but that was the full circuit of Saint-Croix in some very I can't even remember which car it was, but very sort of 70s 80s style car. I can't quite remember which one it was now, but Nathan and Mark were very quick around this circuit in those races, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them back out there again. But all these cars are the Mustang, which is there for the mileage points, so you can buy it with mileage points, and there's a few interesting liveries out there. I'm looking at the side of Callum Brewer's car, and he's decided to paint his name across the side of his car, so we won't miss which one he is.
Mark Ridout's gone for yellow and black. A little bit of a nod to his normal racing colours when I've seen him racing the sprints. Qualifier has begun, so there's no random grids for this one. It's a more conventional timed qualifying, sets the grid for the 20-minute race, and that'll get underway very, very shortly. Hello to Paul again, says sorry for not chatting, saying hi in the chat. I've been popping in and out. That's alright, mate, that's alright. Great to have you here for the stream this evening. Cars heading out on circuit then. What are my thoughts with going with this one? David, is so we mentioned the FIA Gran Turismo World Championships coming up very, very soon. They'll probably be kicking off at least with an exhibition series, I think the end of this month, and it won't be that long before we'll be into the cutthroat of the real thing. Last season's being a 30-round championship over 15 weeks. But this circuit has appeared on that calendar, and it's produced, from my experience, some good racing in the past. As I say, it's quite a tricky circuit to get on top of.
Yes, it is. Sorry, I got very distracted by the side of Ryan Sandall's car, because it's got painted across the side of it, Dave, it's Sandall.
So I've been saying it
I
right.
think so that might be. I think that's what it says. I can't see as the car keeps going past.
Yes, it is. That's brilliant. Yeah. That is. Do you know what? As a commentator, it is a genuine problem sometimes that you get yourself into a state of, is it this pronunciation or that pronunciation? Drivers, do tell us if we're doing it wrong. That's the best way I've ever seen a driver tell us that we're saying their name wrong. That's fantastic.
Just thinking about it off the top of my head, I remember, I think it was Steph Theodorou come to find you at Lid a few years ago, and he was like, "It's amazing, you've got my surname right." We're like, "Well, yeah, because Martin Theodorou's been racing for years."
Yeah. But there's some still simple ones, and it is a genuine comment, folks. If either of us do ever say your name wrong, don't be afraid to go, "Oi, you're doing it wrong." I used to have it all the time with a certain man from the northeast. Nathan Maximin going down the inside there. This is just warm-up laps, guys. They're already racing as if it's the final lap of the race. What other liveries have we got out there? There's a snazzy one from Martin. Here's another one of the reasons why I like Sankar. Big bridge, like a big bridge, and it produces some good shots as well.
I was going to say it produces some great TV shots, but going on with commentary mistakes, I was calling Ryan Callum all last week, so it looked like Callum was winning all races, but actually he was nowhere near, so no disrespect to Callum.
There's Callum's. Oh yes. Oh, he's very much put his name on the side of it.
Yeah. He's even reminded us which uni he went to.
Both of them there. That's fantastic. I'm loving these. Eric Mignon there. That's a classic look there. In fact, oh no, what have you done, boys? That's not. I'm going to have to keep the little names above the cars on now.
Have you seen Jay Elliott's at livery?
Oh yes. Oh, sorry, Jay Elliott's. I got transfixed by Trevor's there. He's gone for the old Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, he loves running that livery, but Jay Elliott's got a bit of a homage to Donald Trump by the looks of it, with a Tesco badge.
We try not to get. Oh my goodness. Try not to get political on this channel, but I quite like that one. Right, should we do some qualifying laps?
I was going to say, they're getting nowhere, they're just racing each other. There's nowhere near getting a qualifying lap.
Well, I've just realised I've inadvertently, I think, set us on a circuit where they're only going to get one lap with the time on the clock. So we're going to have no idea who's doing what.
Long. So we've got a length of race of 20 minutes, but Nathan is currently side by side with Martin Robinson constantly, and they're not going to get a clean lap at all.
No, so this could be a very jumbled up order. There are opportunities to slipstream here. Martin Robinson trying to go back down the inside. That's a brave spot to do that, Martin. What a move that is. It's a shame that's not in the middle of a race, and it's to say holding each other up in terms of qualifying, but that was very, very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's not really helping him out with the qualifying lap though, which on the first lap it was 3:32 for Nathan, who's now having a look back. They forgot this is only qualifying. I know Sam put there's no practice, it's straight to qualifying, but maybe the all-40 said straight to race.
Maybe this is what they're doing. They're pretending it's one of those potential new Formula One sprint race qualifying, and they're putting on a demonstration.
Yeah, we might not want to get. If you don't want to get political, you might not want to start me on Maximin races.
It's all right. It's not going to get through the council anyway. I may eat my hat on that one, but I don't see that getting 28 out of 30 votes.
We're not going to miss Alex Wilmot's car.
Where's Alex? We haven't seen him so far. He's number 9.
Ninth at the moment.
Oh, well, that is Jassy.
I think we need to send that one to JV and get the karts now to him. It may not be corporate colours, but
I was going to say rather you than me. The Biden car is in the wall. That's not going to be good for lap time. Coming round then. Now I've forgotten my rules now. If the drivers cross the line, it will let them finish the lap, won't it? So they'll actually get 2 laps.
Yes, if there's enough time, yes. It'll start a new countdown clock, and it sort of depends what it sets it at. So sometimes the person at the back might not quite make it, but Martin Robinson has repassed Nathan again. These are the first 2 who are going to cross the line in this qualifying session.
I wonder if there is a little.
Just coming around to the final.
Sorry, David. I wonder are they sort of working together? Oh, as Martin Robinson smacks the wall there by kind of swapping around, almost doing that cycling pursuit, team pursuit style of driving to see if they can work together and give each other a slipstream at different points of the circuit. It seems to have worked at the moment. They've done faster lap times than Ryan and Mark. Who else hasn't come over the line? Here comes Cal. Do you know what? I think they in a strange way, I think they have been working together. So the time left on the clock is 2 minutes 30. So I don't think any of these drivers are going to get round again to complete another lap. So that may be it for qualifying. With Nathan Maximin on pole position, Martin Robinson in second place, Ryan Sandall on third on the grid, Trevor Randall in the grass, Kachow in fourth, Alex Wilmot in fifth place. Great qualifying there from Alex. Sixth for Tim Clark. The kind of burnt orange colours there. Seventh for Mark Ridout. There he is. I think he did all his lap all on his own, so that's a good effort there from Ridout. Eighth for Kirith Kalirai in the black car there. Ninth for Jay Elliott. 10th for Eric Mignon in the other of the black liveried cars. Peter Harris, that's quite a nice livery there from Peter. Is that a Martin special perhaps? Or has he done that one himself? Either way, it's very, very nice.
And you may see on the side of it 69 for Nicky Hayden.
Yes indeed. Just
by the door.
Liking that a lot. Callum Brule will be 12th on the grid. Jack Cameron Drayton there, he is in 13th. And Sam Dimlow's probably cursing me at the moment for picking this circuit, because in his M&M's car, is that a bit of a Carl Busch? Yeah, a little bit Carl Busch.
Yeah, Carl Busch.
Is going to be in 14th place.
By the looks of it, he's driving like Carl Busch as well, because he's hitting everything in sight.
Steady.
I don't think he's watching. It's okay.
Well, all these drivers, I think, at the moment,
they're going to make it.
Yeah, I think Nathan's going to be about 10 seconds short, and he's the first driver on the road. But they are all at least getting a little bit of practice here. He's up on this lap as well, but I think he is going to run out of time. There's only 15 seconds of this session remaining, and that length of track down to the last corner and the run to the finish line is more than 15 seconds. So the grid is going to be as you see on your screen at the moment. No, I'm completely wrong. They are going to get to the end of their laps. There we go. There, the timer reset. So Nathan goes faster, 3:17.717. Is anyone going to beat that? Robinson isn't. Sandall goes to 3 minutes 20. What is Trevor Randall doing? So we are going to get a little bit of excitement towards the end of this session. Can anyone touch Nathan Maximum's 3 minutes 17? Trevor doesn't go quicker, stays 4th. Alex Wilmot goes quicker though. He's up onto the second row of the grid for this fun race at the end of the evening. I don't think anybody else is improving though, so it's Maximum from Robinson, Sandall, Randall, not Randall, Wilmot will be 4th, then Randall, Clark, Brewell, Elliott's there in 8th, Calirai in 9th, Ridout in 10th, Mignon in 11th, Harris in 12th, Cameron Drayton in 13th, and Dimolo in 14th.
Dimolo and Cameron Drayton are just coming across the line now, so they might improve.
They might indeed. In fact, they do. Sam Dimolo up to 11th place there, and there was another ding there that indicated that Cameron Drayton improved his lap time a little bit. Well, something's different in that qualifying, David, with the likes of Martin Robinson up to the front row, but something's still the same. Nathan Maximum out front for this one. Yeah,
Nathan just completely on form tonight with Martin Robinson alongside him on front row. Sandall, as he puts it, is 3rd on the grid with Alex Wilmot in 4th. So can the reigning champion get back on form in the cars as we head off from the grid? It's a great start all round. Sandall has already got past Robinson and is having a sniff at Maximin down into turn 1. They're 3 abreast down into the corner, but who will come out in front? It's Maximin from Sandall, and there is Robinson slotting into 3rd, and Trevor Randall is in 4th, but Sandall is now already going for the lead. He slips up the inside of Maximin, and the track will go back in Maximin's favour, and Sandall will be hung out to dry in 2nd place.
Everybody running still at these early stages. Don't think anyone's fallen off yet. Or there was a little mistake there from Ryan Sandall. He's lost position to Martin Robinson. He's taken 2nd place after that little wall tap from the Season 2L and Season 1 champion. Trevor Randall there in 4th place already. That top 4 started to break away. Callum Brewell's had a good start. He's up to 5th place in the early stages of this one. Tim Clark 6th place. Kirith Calirai kicking up the dust as well. Also on the move there is Sam Dimolo in the M&M's car, is up now into the top 10.
I think we may have had an issue for Jay Elliott and Mark Ridout, who are off 6 seconds off the back of the pack, who is Peter Harris at the moment at 12th. But we've now got a fight for the lead between Maximin and Robinson.
We have indeed. Let's cut to that battle. Oh, big moment there for Nathan Maximum, touching into the gravel, and Martin Robinson may have the run here side by side as they go down into the high-speed chicane. Who's going to yield here? We're still only on lap 1, 18 minutes of this 20-minute race to go. Can Robinson take advantage of that mistake? He's trying to go around the outside. That's very brave, but Maximum's muscled him out there. Great driving from both of them through that period of play, and here comes Ryan Sandall up the inside back into 2nd place.
Yeah, they're swapping positions left, right and centre. Alex Wilmot just took an advantage of Tim Clark and Kirith Calirai running side by side to move up 2 positions into 6th. But it's Martin Robinson into the lead as they head onto the bridge. But the track would go in Maximin's favour if he could get alongside, but he's not, and it's Robinson who leads as they head off the bridge towards the start, heading back towards the start finish line. Sandell looking to the inside. Maximin tries to cut him off but doesn't quite make it, so it's Robinson, Sandall and Maximin, your top 3, with Trevor Randall just sneaking up behind and quietly just making a play for the lead of the race himself.
On the bumper cam here with Trevor Randall, best seat in the house at the moment as these 3 go at it. Martin Robinson a little bit wide, maybe a bit vulnerable here as they head towards the final corner of the first lap. I think all of them touched the wall there as Sandall trying to force the issue there with Maximum. Randall looking down the inside perhaps. Are they all going to make the corner? A little bit squirrely on the rear there for Ryan Sandall, but they have all hooked it up. So at the end of lap number 1, it is Martin Robinson leading from Ryan Sandall there in second place. Nathan Maximin down to third. Fourth for Trevor Randall. Fifth place for Callum Brule. Alex Wilmot has fought his way back up to sixth place, but has a penalty. 0.3 of a second he's got to slow down by, but that's manageable. He can erode that away over the course of the next 16 minutes or so. Tim Clark there in 7th place, 8th for Kirith Calirai, 9th now for Sam Dimolo. Peter Harris is in 10th place. Work to do then for Eric Mignon there in 11th, Jack Cameron Drayton in 12th place. There's a yellow flag. Who is off? Who's had an issue? Not quite sure what that was about. Can't see anyone has fallen out of position, although Kirith has fallen down a couple of places. Let's see if something. Yes, it was Kirith Calirai. So Kirith Calirai with a spin there in the infield section. And Sam Dimolo was off as well. Wall riding on the right hand side. So Kirith loses a couple of positions.
And back at the front, Sandall made an issue of, I think it was the third corner, ran wide and he allowed Nathan Maximin and Trevor Randall straight through in the next two corners. But we actually have pretty much a 7-car group away at the front as Maximin goes to the inside of Robinson. Trevor Randall trying to follow his way through, and I think Robinson will drop down to third here as they head down towards the high-speed chicane. And Randall looking back, but Andrew, just to mention here, we have 3 wheel users and 3 pad users, so this is showing how much it doesn't make a difference as Robinson gets sideways into the chicane. And Ryan just nipping in between them there. That could have been a huge crash.
I've no idea how they all made it through there. That was remarkable driving from everyone involved as Ryan Sandall is in the middle of a Trevor Randall Martin Robinson sandwich there. Tried to wriggle out of it. Nearly went round. Callum Brule's now involved there in 5th place. Alex Wilmot as well. And I tell you what, David, all this is doing at the moment is just letting Nathan Maximin gallop down the road. He's got, what is that? That's a 2-second gap now at the front of the field, and they're all pushing each other.
Yeah, they're just not giving up on their positions here as Brule goes up inside of our 2-time champion Sandall. He's picked up a penalty there, maybe slightly for cutting the corner a little bit, just cutting the grass, but they've settled down a little bit, but it's just too late. Maximin has gone off down the road, and it's going to be tough to pull back 2 seconds on him now.
Yeah, they've got to start working together. Was there a tap there? And Randall's in the wall, and he's going to lose a lot of positions there. He's all the way down to 7th place. There's a huge gap back to the others behind. I'm not sure what's caused that to happen. 13 seconds back to this second group of Sam Dimolo in 8th place, Eric Mignon in 10th. Peter Harris, Kirith Calirai in there as well. And this is all playing into the hands of Nathan Maximin, who's now nearly 2.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Callum Brule is up to 2nd place. Ryan Sandall trying to go down the inside. Martin Robinson to the outside now.
3 abreast across the line it was for Robinson, Clark and Wilmot. They've managed to all get through, but Clark and Robinson are still fighting it out for 4th place. But Callum Brule up into 2nd place, just ahead of our double champion who's spun. He's gone.
He has indeed. Let's have a little look back at that and what happened here. It was Ryan Sandall pushing hard into the left-hander where we've already seen a couple of drivers, and he just gets wide. He gets wide on the grass, on the power, and round he goes. Good recovery in a way. He's only lost, 3 positions, and he's not completely out of touch yet. But that's not a good moment for the Season 2 champion. As what has happened? There we go.
Very rare mistake by Ryan.
Yeah, the replay camera had a bit of a moment, but we're back with the live footage. 3.4 seconds is now the lead for Nathan Maximin.
He's really checked out here. He's just on form tonight. I mean, he's always quick, but nobody has been able to match him tonight. Whether it's maybe he's just kept the same pace and everyone's backed off, I don't know. But Callum Brule running a strong second place. I think he qualified down in outside the top 4, I think it was. And he's got Robinson. He's actually gapped Robinson now, so good drive by Brule, and he's just got to keep this error free, and he'll be in second place. And Robinson goes too hot into the chicane and runs out wide, and Clark will make it pass, and Alex Wilmot, and Robinson drops down into 5th, but gets Wilmot back into the next corner to hold on to 4th, sideways out of it there. And this group is just dropping like flies, one at a time. They just keep making a mistake and just letting Maximin run away with this.
3.6 seconds now, the lead for our all-conquering O-plate holder for another season. Bumper camming with Callum Brule now through one of the trickiest parts of the circuit, in my opinion. Careful to avoid the barrier on that right-hand side.
He's got a nice little lead as well now over Tim Clark, 1.5 seconds back. So he just has to keep it together and see if he can start to close on this 4-second gap to the leader with possibly 3 laps to go, maybe 4.
Yeah, will depend on when he crosses the line. Just looking at a battle here between Jay Elliott and Peter Harris, 2 very experienced drivers in the sprints world. Both have raced in the top tier in Club 100. All of us keen to get back to Club 100 racing once the lockdown is lifted. Fingers crossed for March. That's when we're hoping to start racing again. No events through February, of course. As this race gets into a bit of a rhythm, David, the Club 100 calendar that we've got coming up this year, it looks like a really tasty one. It's going to be good to get that one underway.
It'll be great to get it underway, and full credit to the Club 100 crew, JV and all the mechanics. You know, last season was tough. They had, I think Sam Dimlow was saying his calendar was just full of dates, from BUKC to Club 100 to the extra little events they run as well. And they certainly did keep the circuit running, and the people supporting the championship by coming along, and they deserve the support they're getting from the sign-ups this year, where they've actually formed another championship and filled that as well. So it just shows how popular Club 100 is as a series for people to come and enjoy their karting.
Does indeed. Tim Clark on the move. He's up to second place, so Callum Brule has lost his lead. Is now under attack from Martin Robinson. So Tim Clark with some great work there. Alex Wilmot is involved as well. Great scrap this going on for the honours behind Nathan Maximin, which I think is going to be the most on offer for these drivers tonight, such is Maximin's form.
It's allowed Trevor Randall and Ryan Sandall to join the back of this pack as well.
Has indeed. Randall looking to the inside of Alex Wilmot there, trying to get a move done on the brightly coloured Mustang. There it is. Nothing doing that time around. Down the inside goes Martin Robinson for second place, gets second place off of Tim Clark. Off the exit now, the bridge corner is next. Over half of this race, just a fun race, just something to finish the evening with. 7 minutes and 40 to go. Gap up ahead now, 8 seconds. 8 seconds clear is Nathan Maximin.
He's just checked out, and he probably doesn't even know all this is happening. I'll be honest, quite often Nathan does normally run the stream alongside him, so hello Nathan, if you are watching, you've got an 8-second lead, and just back off, make it more interesting for us.
We want this to be for the win. No offence, mate, but no, he's doing a great job tonight. The gap is coming down, so maybe he is listening to us.
Maybe he is listening. I mean, I know a lot of people say Lewis Hamilton dominating F1 is boring. Come on, Nathan, Drop it back.
Let somebody else win.
Valtteri Bottas is waiting. Yeah.
0.8 of a second penalty for Callum Brewell there. He is listening. He's given a little wave in the chat. That's how dominant he is tonight. He's in the chat and racing at the same time, ladies and gentlemen. There he is, still 8 seconds clear of the rest of the pack. Martin Robinson, second place, third for Tim Clark. Let's got a little bit further back, see how everybody else is getting on. There's Mark Ridout, just wearing some penalty time away. He's been gapped by Kirill Kalirai. There he is, trying to close in on Peter Harris and Jay Elliott.
It's quite worrying that he's got time to type in the chat as well. I mean, it's not a full sentence he's putting, but to be able to type in the chat while you're driving is not the easiest thing to do. I've tried it. And he hasn't lost any time whatsoever. In fact, he's even extended it to 8.1 at the moment. As Robinson runs wide out of that corner, Brewell kicks up the dust as well, but Trevor Randall is now having a look at Callum Brewell for 4th place in this race. Second and third have just stretched a little bit of a gap, and Callum is trying to get rid of some penalties that might allow Trevor to get through when he ghosts. Ryan has also made it past Alex Wilmot for 6th, so this pack just splitting up a little bit, and as they get about halfway round lap 5.
They do indeed. Just go back to that Club 100 calendar. I'm just reminding myself the main Sprints Championship and the Saturday Championships as well, the Endurance Championship, return of the Team's Endurance Championship after a year away due to COVID. Buckmore Park, 20th and 21st of March is when things kick off. Then a visit to Wales, to Llandau, the very next weekend, which will be a live streamed round, as well, that's the current plan anyway for round 2. It's on the 27th and 28th, the live stream on the 28th. So Martin Robinson runs a little bit wide there. Clay Pigeon follows up after that, about a month later on the 24th and 25th of April. That's also a live streamed sprint round. Wilton Mill, not too far here from DDMM HQ, will be our host for the 15th and 16th of May. That will also be a live stream round, so lots of live stream rounds early in the season for you folks. Into June, 13th and 14th of June, I may or may not be there. Most likely will be there, because I think it's a bit hopeful, the thought of being at Le Mans this year, but that is on the same weekend as Le Mans, a trip for Club 100 to Lyd. Start of July 4th, back to Wales again. 2 Wales trips this year, which is very popular in my books. Great circuits in Wales. As I say, we've already mentioned Llandau. We've got Glanigors on the 3rd and 4th of July. Ella Park on the weekend of the 1st of August. Bayford Meadows in mid-September, the 11th and 12th of September. That is a live streamed sprints round. Back to Wilton Mill for the kind of traditional date in October, in the middle of October, 9th and 10th of October for that one. Rye House, which will be a live streamed round the 30th and 31st of October. That's the penultimate round. And the last round of the championship at Buckmore Park, the 13th and 14th of November, and it is streamed, which is I am very, very pleased to see, and say that we are going to be covering, I'll get my words in eventually, the very final bits of racing for Club 100 this season.
That's news to my ears, because I wasn't sure which ones were streamed yet. So, what was that? 6 or 7 rounds that streamed?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the 11 streamed for 2021.
Yeah, I believe it was 6, but you said streamed so many times at the start of the season, start of the calendar. I wasn't sure whether you'd said 7 or more then, but that's great to have a final round. You know, I know a few of us have been pushing JV to try and get the finals round streamed, especially around Buckmore Park in the cold November. You'll be nice and warm in the commentary box. I'll probably be nice and cold behind the camera, and the way it normally goes. So it'd be great to see. But I think he said Le Mans clashed with Lyd as Sandall goes to the inside of Trevor Randall. You could just pop back from Le Mans. It's closer than closer than your home to Lid, isn't it? So you could just pop back for a day.
Well, I did do. Oh, it was Martin Robinson's in the gravel as we get back to the race, and I think Callum Brule was caught out by that as well.
Yes. Yeah, Callum Brule followed him round doing a donut. So it's packed for second place. We've just whittled ourselves down now to Tim Clark, Ryan, who made a mistake earlier, and Trevor, who made a mistake earlier. So perseverance here. Yeah,
the gap to Nathan about 10 seconds. But no, you are right there. Another alignment of the Lid Club 100 weekend and Le Mans. We had it with the rescheduled dates in September in 2020 as Ryan Sandall goes down the inside of Tim Clark, going onto the bridge for second place, gets a little bit of a wiggle on coming out of the corner, but that was a good overtake there from Ryan Sandall.
Yeah, great overtake there, caught it on the exit, and looking at the leader with 50 seconds to go, a nice 11.8 second lead, and I don't think we've seen much of him, to be fair, but he's got the fastest lap as well, pole position. I think it's going to be a full house for Nathan, and he's still trying to go quicker now. Quite possibly so. Just trying to work out where I'm going to stick with him, because he might just sneak over for another lap. I mean, he could actually back off now if he wanted to end the stream a little bit earlier. Back off, win the race, and kill the clock on time, because he's got 10 seconds. Is he going to slow down, or is he going to go for another lap? I don't think he's took your hint. He's going to go for another lap. And do you know what this means? He's won the race. He's won the race because everybody else who crosses the timing beam now is going to finish. So this is the race for second place. Trevor Randall is going to get it on the line. There it is. So he takes second place. Third for Ryan Sandall. Fourth for Tim Clark. Fifth for Alex Wilmot. Who's going to take the battle for sixth? Oh, that was close over the line. Sixth for Callum Brule. Seventh for Martin Robinson. It's going to be a fight for 8th place as well. And Jay Elliott is going to take it. Kirith Kalirai there in 9th. 10th for Mark Ridout in the end, who's going to do a big slide over the line. Good to see. Eric Mignon will finish in 11th place. And a fight to the end for 12th place. Oh, Jack's got a penalty to get rid of before the line as well, which I think may cost him. He's tried to get rid of it on the line. And yes, he's just been pipped there by Peter Harris as a result. Sam Dibolo in 14th. And now just the winner, David, on his own lap. And he's officially on the results going to be a lap ahead of everybody else. Yeah, he finished across the line 13 seconds clear, so we're not going to give him the lap. He's going to win it by 13 seconds, because he could have backed off. There's no need for him to do this. But I'll be honest, I think he's going for fastest lap. He's already got it at a 3 minute 16.5, but he's pushing so hard on this last lap. He's actually now 1.4 seconds off the pace. So he's got a lot of time to find through the rest of the lap. But it gives him his own little victory lap. He's won every race tonight. He won the O-Plate back to become a 2-time O-Plate champion. And I suppose this is just his little victory lap. It is indeed. Paul Stanford giving his congratulations to Nathan. Saying well done to Kirith as well. Fantastic race from Alex Wilmot as well. Very good result there in the top 5 in this fun race to finish Season 2 of the Club 100 Gran Turismo GTS Series. And whilst it wasn't... I can help you gap fill as well. Sam Dimolo, would you like you to pick your best livery? Best livery from that last race? Yes. Ooh. See, that's tough, but I think I've got to give it to Ryan, because that's the most unique way I've ever seen a driver telling us commentators how to pronounce their name. So I'm going to give it to Ryan. There we go. We'll give it to Ryan. I think that's something we might want to drop into. Maybe we could just have it hyphenated on the back of the race overalls from now on. Instead of having like rid out, you'd have rid out. You know. Something like that would be quite good, but that shows you how far ahead Nathan was. He's now finally got round to the finish line and is making his lap even longer across the line, but finally takes the victory. As a result, say 1 lap clear of everybody else.
Well, there we go. That brings an end to the competition tonight. Nathan Maximin takes one of the biggest clean sweeps I think I've ever seen. All 4 races here this evening, and pole position for the fun race at the end there as well. David, if you can, sum up for me Season 2 of the Club 100 Gran Turismo Sport Series. What have been those highlights throughout the course of the season, and what are you looking forward to, hopefully, for Season 3?
I think the highlights have got to be the competitiveness. While the championship looks like a dominant win for Ryan, it certainly wasn't. The races were close throughout. Highlight has to be tonight's O-plate. That was just dominant style by Nathan. I don't think that will get replicated for a couple of years yet, depending what circuit we use next year for the O-plate. And next year, I think Sam will just have some great tracks to get us involved with. I know he's already looking towards Season 3. If anybody does want to get involved, please get in touch with Sam Dimilo before we actually start. We'll be putting it out on the Club 100 page, on the Facebook group, and hopefully we might be able to get a few more joined, and maybe we could even look at doing promotion and relegation and have slightly smaller grids but have 2 lobbies. Who knows? Any ideas are welcome.
Do get involved. Do search out on Facebook for all of that information. Got to say as well, shout out to our iRacing crew as well. For those not aware, we have got an iRacing parish, as it were, in the Club 100 esports and sim racing world. And as we say, the Legends of Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship round number 2 is next up on the 24th of February. It'll be live streamed here on the Double Dash Motorsport Media channel. And if you missed round 1 at Daytona, you can go back and watch that for the first round, which was in the Mazda MX-5s. Round 2 will be in the Audi TCR. That's all to look forward to. If you haven't already, do please consider subscribing to the channel. That would be fantastic for us here at Double Dash Motorsport Media. You can find us on Facebook as well at Double Dash Motorsport Media, Instagram and Twitter at Double Dash MM, and on the web at www.double-mm.com. Right, I think that's all we've got time for this evening. David, thank you very much for all of your hard work over the past few weeks. Been great following the second season of the Club 100 GTS Series with you. Hope to do this again very, very soon for Series 3.
Yeah, hopefully we can have you alongside us for a few more of the events, and thanks to everyone who joined in the chat as well, and hopefully we can have such a competitive Season 3 that you won't want to miss out.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support this evening. It's been great to be involved with you on the chat. My name's been Andrew Mather. He's been David Whitehouse. This has been the Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and goodbye.